Peel police say the fatal assault of a woman in Mississauga last night was a random attack. Officers were called to a plaza parking lot on Dundas near Dixie Road before 8 p.m. and found the woman in her 50s with severe injuries. She later died in the hospital. Police say a 58-year-old man was arrested after a short foot pursuit and is also responsible for another random attack nearby half an hour earlier.
We believe that there may be additional victims, and we are urging them to come forward. In addition, we are appealing to any witnesses who may have been present in the area of Dixie Road and Dundas Street East in the city of Mississauga at approximately 7:30 p.m. last night to contact investigators. We're also seeking any witnesses who may have been in the plaza of 1310 Dundas Street East in the city of Mississauga last night to contact investigators.
Investigators say there is no threat to public safety, but there will be an increased police presence in the area over the next few days. And for more on this, we are joined live by CTV's public safety analyst and former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis. Chris, thanks so much for your time this evening.
My pleasure, CJ. My pleasure.
Now, as someone who has worked on cases like this, what stands out to you when you heard some of the early details there?
Yeah, it's an awful situation. Frightening as heck that these unprovoked attacks occurred. We don't know a lot about the individual, obviously, but there had to be some mental health issues there. It's not like he had some sort of a beef against these people because he didn't even know who they were, apparently. But Peel Police, a great department, an experienced homicide unit, and they'll be digging deeply into who is this guy and what might have prompted him to attack anybody, let alone those two people in those two locations.
Now, these two attacks happened very quickly, one at a bus stop, 30 minutes later, another at a plaza. How would police be connecting the dots right now?
Well, initially, they didn't know the assault had occurred at the bus stop. It was reported sometime later, but actually occurred prior to. They have video in both cases. They have a man with a bar that struck the man at the bus stop, and then they have the same man assaulting the woman with a bar, which he left at the scene, and they chased. Police arrived and ultimately had a foot chase with this guy and caught him, which is great because no one else is going to be hurt by him. And they put two and two together in relation to the attacks. Of course, the man survived, so he can talk to police. And I'm sure they've got pretty good cases against this guy. And he's done both, according to Peel Police, and they would know what they're talking about.
And from an investigation standpoint right now, what angles do you think police are focusing on? Is it the motive? They do have a suspect in custody, like you mentioned, but timing, witnesses, what do you think they're focusing on?
Well, the video is going to be very key in both cases, and so ultimately that'll be a big part of what they've gathered already. They'll be looking for more video in other stores and other locations, other witnesses, and may have seen something, matching that weapon to the man through blood, through the woman to the woman victim through blood, trying to tie it to him through some forensic tie of some sort. And then really investigating who is this guy? What did he say when he was arrested? What did they know about him? What's his history? What has he said to others around him recently? So all that investigative work will be occurring at one time. Peel's got a large forensic units. They've got two crime scenes there, an experienced homicide division that's had other murders in the last day as well. So they've got their hands full, but this one is least under wraps for now.
And what do you make of the weapon that was used in these two cases? We're learning that it's a bar. It's not something that you typically hear. Usually you hear of a gun or a knife, a sharp object. What goes through your mind when you hear that a bar was a weapon in this case?
Well, that sounds like it's not kind of planned that ultimately, okay, I'm going to kill these two people on this day, to haul a bar to that and then, drop it at one scene. It sounds like kind of an opportunity sort of thing where he's seen something, picked it up and used it as a weapon, may or may not even be his, but they'll try and track down all of that through their investigation. But once again, there's mental health issues there. I'm not saying this guy is, not guilty because of some sort of mental health issue at all, but who goes out and just attacks two people with a bar that he doesn't even know? no motive at all other than, at least not that police are saying at this point, other than just the need to hurt or kill somebody. It's a terrible situation, hard for the public to prevent against that.
Absolutely, especially when you consider the cold weather, you would think most people are trying to stay inside. Now, in this case, police say bystanders did step in to try to help and take down the suspect during that foot chase. If someone does witness a public attack like this, what is the best course of action here, and what are some things they should avoid?
Well, obviously, in this case, they went after him, and ultimately he was caught and arrested. So that's a good thing. And police are never going to say to people, chase a bad guy that just killed somebody. That's just not good advice to the public. They have to protect themselves. But at the same time, I know what I would do in a situation like that. I'm not suggesting that's what everybody would do, and I know many that would and many that wouldn't. But you have to look after your own safety. But tending to the victim should always be the priority. Notifying the police, obviously, but tend to that victim because that might save their life. And so a lot of things happening at once, and good on the citizens to do what they did. But once again, that's not the kind of advice police would normally give people.
Yeah, some great advice and analysis. Public safety analyst and former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. You take care.